Hello aspirants, you're hearing to the aspirant voice. In this episode, we are going to discuss about India, Afghanistan and Taliban. That means Indian future prospects on state of affairs of Afghanistan and Taliban and international stand on Afghanistan. Recently, that is when India celebrating August 15th as its Independence Day, the Taliban ordered its fighters to wait on the outskirts of the capital city of Afghanistan, that is Kabul, and the Ashraf Ghani, the president of Afghanistan, fled away. So let's understand about this. The speedy withdrawal of US troops from Afghanistan has been matched by the swift advance of the Taliban across the nation of Afghanistan. The idea of the regional solution to Afghanistan has always had much political appeal, but divergent regional strategic perspectives limit the prospects for a sustainable consensus on Afghanistan. All started by the US withdrawal and the regional powers has started its confusion. Taliban itself remains a major variable. If the Taliban does not accommodate the interests of the Afghans, it simply sets the stage for the next round of the civil war in Afghanistan. And the Taliban is also signaling that it will not be a proxy for anyone else and that it will pursue independent policies. While China, the US withdrawal from Afghanistan reinforces the strongly held conviction in China that the US is in terminal decline. The withdrawal at a time when China is offering an alternative to the Western model of international governance is seen in China as a great ideological victory. However, for China, potential Taliban support to the Xinjiang separatist group is a major concern. While coming to the India now, India will have three critical areas in dealing with the Taliban. The first one, protecting its investments which run into billions of rupees in Afghanistan, and also preventing a future Taliban regime from being a pawn of Pakistan, and making sure that Pakistan backed anti-India terrorist groups do not get support from the Taliban. And the other countries say none of the regional countries want to see Afghanistan becoming the nursery of international terror again under the Taliban. Iran can't ignore the Sunni extremism of the Taliban and its oppressive record in dealing with the Shia and Persian speaking minorities. And also the Pakistan worries about the danger of conflict spilling over the east of the Durand line. Durand line is the actually border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. So Pakistan is worries about the danger of conflict spilling over the east of the Durand line and hostile groups like Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. So you can say TTP gaining sanctuaries in Afghanistan. Now how India is approaching to this? The era of prolonged peace in Afghanistan secured by the US military presence has come to its end, that we know, and this would mean new constraints on India's ability to operate inside Afghanistan is a challenge now. There are three structural conditions will continue to shape India's Afghan policy. One is India's lack of direct physical access to Afghanistan. This underlines the importance of India having effective regional partners. And Pakistan has the capability to destabilize any government in Afghanistan, but it does not have the power to construct a stable and legitimate order in Afghanistan. So they can collapse. I mean, Pakistan can help in collapsing, but they can't help in constructing. And the contradiction between the interests of Afghanistan and Pakistan is an enduring one because Pakistan likes to turn Afghanistan into a protectorate, and but Afghanistan deeply value their independence. All Afghan sovereigns, including the Taliban, will look for partners to balance the Pakistan. And India should focus on intensifying its engagement with various Afghan groups, including the Taliban, and finding effective regional partners to secure its interests in changing Afghanistan. But currently, the India is in a state of lock because it is not a coincidence that United States of America is exiting Afghanistan at the same time that the focus of its foreign policy is shifting to East Asia. There is growing consensus that the USA, instead of staying engaged in the lost wars, should now urgently prepare itself for unfolding geopolitical contest with China. And defeating the Taliban and nation building were part of a neo-conservative ideology, that is the promotion of democracy and interventionism in the international affairs of the US, which has evidently failed. However, the US can abandon the Afghan government and exit the theater. But India cannot do that because it has to protect its investment and prevent Afghanistan from becoming another safe haven for anti-India terrorist groups, and also check Pakistan deepening its influence in Kabul, and it will delete the opportunities of India that we have in Afghanistan. Presently, let's discuss about India's briefly presence in Afghanistan. Barring a brief pause in the 1990s, India has historically enjoyed good ties with Afghanistan, which go back to the 1950 Treaty of Friendship. Indian interests and influence suffered when the Taliban, backed by Pakistan, captured Kabul in 1966. But India was back in action as soon as the Taliban were ousted from power after the US invasion in 2001, that is, after 9/11 attack on Twin Towers. India has made huge investments and commitments ever since, which run into over USD 3 billion, that is 3 billion US dollars, and cultivated strong economic and defense ties with the Afghan government. Now it is again starting and staring at uncertainty with the US pullback, having effectively changed the balance of power in Afghanistan and the Taliban making rapid territorial gains. That is, they are occupying Afghanistan territory. Now, India's voice in the Afghan reconciliation process, you have to understand, in the past, due to terror activities of the Taliban, India has been very critical of the Taliban coming into power and shown resistance to publicly dealing with the Taliban. Another United States Taliban peace deal. The Taliban will be in the center of power in Afghanistan as the US forces withdraw from the Afghanistan. In the present scenario, India has never announced its support for the US Taliban peace deal, and rather India supports the Ashraf Ghani government and backs the idea of Afghan-led, Afghan-owned and Afghan-controlled process. Further, in order to provide legitimacy to the recently held Afghan president elections, Ashraf Ghani entered into a power-sharing agreement with former Chief Executive Abdullah. This agreement will inevitably further weaken and Ashraf Ghani and subsequently undermines Indian interest in the region. Due to these factors, India's voice in the reconciliation process has been very much limited, and also India has a policy that they deal with the only recognized international governments, and Talibans were a group, or you can say activist group, so India can't deal with Taliban directly as US dealt with Taliban. Now let's see India's what are the areas have interest in Afghanistan. The first one is economic and strategic interest. Afghanistan is a gateway to the oil and mineral rich Central Asian republics, and Afghanistan's main advantage is geography, as anyone who is in power in Afghanistan controls the land routes connecting India with Central Asia, that is via Afghanistan. And the second interest, development projects. The massive reconstruction plans for the country to offer a lot of opportunities for Indian companies. There are three major projects, that is the Afghan Parliament and the Jaranj Delaram Highway and the Afghan India Friendship Dam, that is Salma Dam. Along with India's assistance of more than 3 billion US dollars in projects, hundreds of small development projects like schools, hospitals and water projects have cemented India's position in Afghanistan, which is very strong. And the third interest is security interest. It is very important because India already suffered so many years due to terrorism. India has been the victim of state-sponsored terrorism emanating from Pakistan-supported terrorist group operating in the region, example Haqqani Network. Thus, India has two priorities in Afghanistan: to prevent Pakistan from setting up a friendly government in Afghanistan and to avoid the return of jihadi groups like Al-Qaeda, which could strike in India. And also, there are so many challenges ahead. That is, first one, India is in dilemma. This is due to the Taliban's coming to power. India faces a dilemma, that is, should India reconsider its current policy that a lasting political settlement in Afghanistan must come through an Afghan-led, Afghan-owned and Afghan-controlled process, considering that the elected Afghan government is hardly in control of the peace process. And also the second one is, should India consider the option of entering into direct talks with the Taliban? But if India does so, it would constitute a major departure from its consistent policy of dealing only with the recognized governments. And also, India, if do so, it will dent India's goodwill, because the building blocks of India's goodwill are assistance in infrastructure project, healthcare, education, trade and food security, and also in the easy access to Afghan citizens to study, train and work in India. Above all, it is India's example as a pluralistic and inclusive democracy inspires many in Afghanistan. However, there has been a dent in India's goodwill due to the recent events in India, especially the controversy over the Citizenship Amendment Act. And now, the exclusion of India from Afghanistan will be a great issue because India has been excluded from Afghanistan peace process many times, including the recent meeting, that is 6 plus 2 plus 1 grouping. This poses a challenge for India to secure its interest in deciding the fate of Afghanistan and its people. Yeah, and what is 6 plus 2 plus 1 grouping? For the starters, I am telling you that 6 plus 2 plus 1 grouping, that is 6 plus 2 plus 1 grouping stands for 6 neighboring countries of Afghanistan, that is China, Iran, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, and 2 indicates global players, they are US and Russia, and 1 is Afghanistan itself. So this is the meeting done by United Nations to promote the peace process in Afghanistan, but India excluded this. So this exclusion of India is an issue we now can't involve in the discussion. It will also dent India's goodwill and also its respect internationally. What are the India's options in Afghanistan now? First, they have to talk with the Taliban. But talking to Taliban would allow India to seek security guarantees from the insurgents in return for continued development assistance or other pledges, as well as explore the possibility of the Taliban's autonomy from Pakistan. At this point, talking to Taliban looks inevitable, but India should not overlook the deep ties between Pakistan's security establishment and Haqqani network, a major faction within the Taliban. And the USA overlooked it while fighting the Taliban along with Pakistan, and it paid a heavy price for it. The second one is taking Afghan government in confidence. It will be an issue because there is no guarantee that India's quest for engagement with the Taliban would produce a desirable outcome. So India should broad base its options. And while talking to the Taliban to protect its interest, India should also enhance aid to Afghan's legitimate government and security forces and work with other regional powers for long-term stability in the country. And the third option is support Afghan military forces. The Afghan military has come like 200,000 battle-hardened soldiers, including the highly trained special forces. The only force that is standing up to the Taliban is the Afghan National Defense and Security Force. India should urgently step up training Afghan forces and provide military hardware, intelligence and logistical and financial support so that Afghan military can continue to defend the cities. India should also coordinate with other regional powers to support the Afghan government because if the government forces crumble before the Taliban, the prospects of the political settlement would be narrowed. The fourth option is a regional solution. There is a convergence of interest between India and 3 key regional players, that are China, Russia and Iran, in seeing a political settlement in Afghanistan. None of these countries would like to see the Taliban taking over Afghan military, which means there would be an isolated Sunni Islamist regime in a country with fractured ethnic equations. Thus, there is a need for cooperation from like-minded countries on this front. Another option is short-term and long-term goals setting up by India, because India's immediate goal should be the safety and security of its personnel and investments. The long-term goal should be finding a political solution to the crisis. None of this can be achieved unless it works together with the regional powers. The sixth option is Russian support, because Russia has cultivated links with the Taliban in recent years and India would need Russia's support in any form of direct engagement with the Taliban. The seventh option is the significance of Iran, because Iran shares a long border with Afghanistan and has close resemblance of ethnic minorities. The original objective of India's Chabahar project in Iran was to create a direct access to Afghanistan bypassing Pakistan. Now, this direct access is critical for India in all different scenarios. Like they move supplies to Afghanistan in larger quantities and retain its presence in the event of civil war, or carry out covert operations if the Taliban take power by force. And however, the United States pressure on India is a roadblock in good relations between the two countries. The last option is bonhomie with China. That is, India should talk with China with the objective of finding a political settlement and lasting stability in Afghanistan. But this option seems so much impractical because India and China are in large standoff in recent years and still the differences are being continued. But India should have to take a step forward because India is going to have the security threat. and also economically also it will be an issue for India because India has invested a lot in Afghanistan. And also there is a saying, if the Taliban comes, the Middle East politics will be destabilized. I mean, the Middle East countries, and the Middle East countries are the source of oil. So oil charges can be, I mean, oil prices can be high, and that will also result in the inflation in India, which is economically not good because India is already suffering with the inflation. So here in the current situation, it is essential for India to maintain its strong links with the Afghan government and build and support its traditional Afghan allies, and open lines of communication with the Taliban also very much needed because whoever the ruling whoever the ruler in the Afghanistan it may be, whether it could be Afghan original government or republic government or else the Taliban group, India should maintain the relation, and India should go step by step in such a way that they don't lose both of them, because in case India supported Afghan, then Taliban, there is a risk from them. And also India support Taliban, it's a kind of India supporting the terrorist group, and they can't be trusted because they had support from Pakistan. This is all about India, Afghan, and Taliban, or the title of the episode is Afghan, Taliban, and India. This is very much important in the perspective of India. It could be very much important topic while coming to your international relation point of view, GS paper 2, Polity and International, and also you can say there might be a question in prelims or a mains from this topic because this is very much important. And also in case interview there might be a question that how India should act on this. So this is an important topic. I hope you do like this episode. If you do like this episode, please share it to your friends, and also share them about aspirantvoiceupsc.com, my website, where you can get all the notes on the podcast that I'm making on YouTube, Spotify, or anywhere. I mean, yeah, sorry. You can have my podcast anywhere except from a few apps, so you can listen from anywhere. This is all about this episode, and I hope you do like this. This is MM signing off.